Hey everybody, Dave and Cynthia, back in from our little play outside. So we're going to show you all the different stuff that we've got on here. So first thing, nice gloves. Hey, so Cynthia's a little more with the fingers, mine more mitten style. They say these are a little warmer. Those are cool. Probably keep your hands really warm when you're out, right?
Yeah, and you can do things with them. So if you are like walking the dog or anything, it's easier to grasp things sometimes with these.
Yeah. So make sure your hands are nice and warm. Then some sunglasses if it's nice and sunny, right? Keep the eyes. Not only just the sun glare, but in any wind, right? Helps with the wind. Nice hat. So, hat is always good, right? Make sure you've got your hat on. I might leave mine on since you have much more hair than I do.
Might be a good idea.
You know what? Just to show this, I'll put this one on. This is actually a waterproof baseball cap. So if it's raining and it's a little bit cold, this is actually a waterproof baseball cap.
Another thing you could also use is a neck warmer. So just if you don't have a scarf or anything, it's good to come up. Another thing we want to do is making sure our mouth and nose is covered to prevent any cold-induced angina. As you can see, wearing a mask will help that. But if you don't have a mask, if you're walking by yourself, even just pulling the neck warmer up over your mouth and nose will help prevent that cold-induced angina.
Nice. Alrighty, mine just nice big thick jacket. This one has a little bit of supposed to be stuff on the inside to keep you warm, but obviously just a nice good warm jacket. You just have the hood, yeah. So both of them have the hood, right? Just a little extra if you need it.
So you want to make sure this is a windproof, waterproof layer, just to help kind of keep you warm and prevent any sort of like frost.
Exactly, and thanks for mentioning that. So the waterproof again, so we put on our big heavier stuff. So Cynthia's got, I guess, more of the traditional style raincoat here.
Yep.
Is it lined?
Not really.
Okay.
Very thin.
Okay, so the traditional raincoat style, and this one, it's just, you know, more of just a regular jacket, but it is water repellent, so it won't be as waterproof as that, but you know, not as heavy, give you a little bit of protection from the precipitation. Alrighty, this layer.
So mine's more of a synthetic layer. So it's a man-made material, but it's tightly woven and it helps keep you warm and kind of insulate you.
So this, the traditional wool. The nice thing about the wool that you have is the man-made stuff is awesome. It's going to be like a little bit lighter and maybe a little bit cheaper, but where the wool really helps is if it actually gets wet. A lot of the man-made stuff, once it gets wet, it loses its ability to protect. It loses its insulation properties. Not so with wool. This can be soaking wet and it still maintains all of its insulation properties. So the nice thing with wool.
So then the next layer we can go down to is our base layer, is typically what it's called. I think, or do you have another layer on this?
I cheated.
Oh, you've got multiple layers. Okay, well for me, I just have a base layer on underneath that. And what this is, it's again, a man-made material. It's actually called base layer from the brand that it's from. And they have different levels of I guess, insulating. Usually they're pretty snug and they have sweat wicking properties. So they draw the moisture away from your skin to the outer layer of the clothes, and it helps keep you dry and warm. Because if you get wet, then you're likely going to get cold.
And that one, that's your heavier one, right?
This is the 3.0, and then there's two. Oh, there might even be one warmer and then two thinner.
Okay, so that one comes in different layers depending on how cold, probably how active you are going to be as well, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so I did cheat a little bit and stuck an extra layer on. I grew up in Ottawa, where it gets really cold, and I love being on the outdoor rinks, and I just found that having this one little bit of an extra layer just helped keep a little bit more warmth in, as well as wicking a little bit more of the sweat out. All right.
So now going down to the pants. Again, it's going to be similar to your top jacket layer. You want them to be waterproof. You could go with your classic snow pants depending on the temperature, but we also have a thinner option, like more like a slush pant, I guess they call them. And then you can also get the base layer for your legs as well. So I have the same level of base layer on my legs as well, to help insulate you more and have that sweat wicking properties. It's better to overlayer than to underlayer, because you can easily take layers off while you're going and as you get warm. But you can't put layers on if you don't have them. So it's better to overdo it than underdo it.
One of the differences too is, notice Cynthia's base layer is more of the dry fit style. This one is polypropylene. Okay, so you can get, I've got the socks back there somewhere too. So as Cynthia mentioned as well, so she has the upper and lower base layers on, as do I, and it's polypropylene. So it just gives you a little bit different an option. Again, I liked the polypropylene. It seemed to just really give a lot of warmth as well as wicking out the sweat as I was active. So yeah, it was a little partial to the polypro, especially if it's cold.
Another brand, or not brand, another type of material you can use is merino wool.
Yeah, merino wool. Yeah.
Merino wool. It's a really great option as well, and it's usually it's wool, but it's a lot thinner and not so bulky as your traditional wool.
Yeah, and you have socks. Your socks are merino wool, right?
Yeah, I have socks on. So I have a basic sock and then the merino wool sock over it. Again, depending on what you're doing outside, the merino wool might be okay. Another thing you want to remember is your footwear. So either just a classic winter boot or like more like hiking winter boot. You just want to make sure they have a good grip on them, because that's really important. And then there's something that we do recommend though if you are walking outdoors, because you never know what's under the snow. So these things just actually slide on your boot. They have little spikes and metal on them that will help you grip on the ice, so you're at a lower risk of falling. They come in different sizes. They come from lots of different companies. I've seen them all over the place, but they just slide on your boot and they're awesome.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah.
Oh, I think that's about the other thing. If you are going to be outside and you're going to be walking, visibility is a key thing. So the bright colors of the different things. I showed that one jacket that I have, almost the bright yellowy, greeny, kind of crazy neon color. It just gets you seen. But if you are concerned at all, another thing that I've learned if I've gone out for runs or whatnot, if you're going out for a walk later on, is a headlamp. Okay, so really simple things to have on, right? And what it does, you can see if I shine it in, it's pretty darn bright. Okay, so it will get you noticed if you are out. So please, this kind of thing really adds to your safety while you're out.
So other than that, I think we covered all your layers. Just remember though, when you are doing exercise, you don't want to go outside if it's -10 or colder, and that's including the wind chill. So those really cold days, we want to move our exercise indoors. But days like our average winter day is usually okay for doing exercise outdoors.
Yeah, for sure. All right. If you have any tips, suggestions that we might have missed, love to hear your feedback. Otherwise, I think we're going back outside because I think Cynthia wants to get me with some snowballs.
Yeah, it's his turn. Thanks so much, everyone. And if you have any questions, just contact your exercise therapist. Have a good day.